What's going on, everyone? Today's video, I want to share a great clip that I saw from Ryan Serhant about the 5 truths you need to hear before 2023. I want to add, now his take was all about the real estate end of it, and I'll put the link in the description, but I wanted to share how that relates to us and being in the crypto space and being a crypto investor. So let's get right into this. Here we go.
One truth that I've really been thinking about a lot is nothing happens anymore the way you think it's going to happen.
All right. So nothing happens the way you think it will happen. What a great truth that he's actually defined for everybody else. And how does this apply to us? Well, if you came into this investing game or this crypto space in 2020 to 2021, things took off. It was unprecedented. The rate of acceleration, not just here, but in stock markets and in every market, basically. And we all thought that it would just continue. Those of us who are not savvy enough or are not experienced enough, you think it's going to continue, right? Then the market turns, as nasty as it has been since November of 21, all the way to now. And we think this is now the new normal and it's never going to turn the other way. So there is that shift in perspective that the way you think things are today, that's not how they're going to carry you going forward. And one of the things that also is really important when it says nothing happens the way you think it will happen is even all of us who are super bullish and long-term thinking when it comes to what the price of Bitcoin can be, what blockchain technology can be in the future, it's still not going to happen the way we think it will. Right? There's still going to be ups and downs. It's never a straight line upwards, right? It's not a linear path to the end goal. And so when that happens, is it 5 years? Is it 7 years? Is it 15 years? I think there's so much in there that we're just not ready for in terms of seeing all of it. We just can't. So the way things happen, it's not going to happen the way that you want it to or think it will. But that's why we got to stay in the game and we've got to make sure that we're in this long enough to see the final outcome. So that's the first truth, is nothing happens the way you think it will happen. I think it's beautifully said. And we're going to move on to the next one here. All right.
They used to tell us all the time that success doesn't happen overnight, but now success can happen overnight. You don't have to wait anymore. The power of the technology that we all have in our phones, the power of content, are you kidding me?
Okay. So you may think, well, that's content he's talking about. That's just social media or the phones that we're talking about. What does that have to do with being in the crypto space? Look, part of this is that we're in it for the long haul and that we would like to be known in this space as someone who contributes and someone who adds value. At least that's definitely what I do, and that's what this channel is set up for. And so one of the things we always think about is that there is a grind. 100% there is a grind to this. But there is always that potential where there is that one video, that one piece of content you write, the one podcast you do, the one connection that you make that really takes whatever you want to the next level, literally overnight. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of, it's interesting because what do they say? It took me 20 years to become an overnight success. I think that's still true. I just don't think it has to be 20 years. But the point is that you got to put yourself out there in these positions that are afforded to us because of technology, right? You can get on your phone, you can make a video about your opinion about Bitcoin, about any crypto, about what you're following and what you want to see in the space. And it can get picked up by any number of people or one person in particular who will then launch opportunities that you never thought could come your way. That was not possible back in the day, right? You really had to have deep connections and been in the game for a long time for any of that to be possible. But here, sky's the limit. So success can be overnight. It does not have to be step by step. I think overnight is potentially, something it's not literal. Like it doesn't have to take 15 years or 10 years. It could happen in 2 years. It could happen in a year. So maybe not so much literal as in overnight, but definitely a lot faster than it could have been before. It's just we got to put ourselves in positions to make that happen. So I love that truth that he shared. So let's move on to the next truth here.
There was I think it's a really, really, really big one, is people equal profits. You've heard people say that your net worth, right, is your net wealth. It is more true today than it has ever been in the history of time. You have to use each other, and you have.
All right. So if you've watched any of my videos previously, you will know that I am big on your network is your net worth. And I'm so glad that he touched on that. Again, he's going to touch on it from a real estate perspective. But I think that applies in every industry, in any industry, but especially here in the crypto space. The people that are in this time now building and are participating and are thinking long term are the ones that are going to be here, not just for the long term, but they're going to be at the forefront of this technology and this paradigm shift. So making deeper connections, putting yourself out there and creating a network of people all looking to have the same goals in terms of a long-term sustainability here in the crypto space or blockchain space, it is something that you need to develop, and it's something that's going to carry forward in terms of the perks or the value add to you is going to be endless. Now, being a part of the network is not enough because it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. So you have to add value and you have to present yourself when that value is asked for. I think one of the easiest things for all of us to do is to state, hey, look, I'm here to help whenever you need me. And then when that person needs you, it's inconvenient. And so you don't follow through. Cannot do that. All right. When we're in this space, when we are networking, when we're making a commitment to add value, when somebody asks you, does not matter when it is, if it's a good for you, you know, if you're in a good mental state, emotional state, all that, you've offered to help, you got to make it happen. All right. That's my take on it. If you are there, if you own up to your words and you follow through, that's really what's going to add a deeper layer of connection. But also that person is going to then safely recommend you to other people because they know you're going to follow through. So that again is another powerful truth, is that people equal profits, or your network equals your net worth. So let's move on to the next one here. This is truth number 4.
Have to talk.
And there we go.
You had to do what you could do step by step. Everything is wrong. Everything's different. You have to start thinking bigger today. Today. A couple years ago, I decided I want to do 9-figure deals. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have no idea. But I believe I can do it. I don't know how I'm going to meet those people. I don't know how I'm ever going to get listings like that. I'm just going to figure it out. I will not fail, and I will not sleep until I do a listing or a deal over $100 million.
All right. So look, thinking bigger, that is a truth for all of us. He's talking again about real estate. But what I really liked what he was saying was that I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'll figure it out. Right? I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to eat. I mean, those are extremes, and I'm sure he doesn't mean it literally, but it just means that every waking hour, all of your attention, all of your focus is on a particular goal, and the steps to get to that goal will be figured out along the way. And that is extremely applicable to the crypto space because there's so much new information. There's so much technology involved, different players, different projects coming in and out, all kinds of media involved, that it's so hard to sit there and be like, well, I'm going to do this, and in order to do this, I need to understand A, B, C, and D first, because A, B, C, and D are always changing. And you'll figure it out, right? So, but if you try and consume everything and educate yourself to the point where you are ready, quote, that's a big quote on that one, ready to then pursue your goal, I think is not a good way to go. And also, because we don't know much, we set a very small goal. That's it. Hey, I just want to invest in Bitcoin, or just want to invest in ETH, which I think is a little bit okay when you're starting out. But as you get deeper into the space, I would even prefer if you did it right out from the gate, right from the beginning. You're like, hey, look, excuse me. You're like, I want to, be a CEO of a project, or I want to speak on stage at a conference, or I want to fundraise and create, $100 million in fundraising for projects of my choosing. Or even for you, like financially, I would love to make, 50 million in the next 7 years. Whatever the case is, I think you got to make the thought process, the goal, big. And don't worry about all the steps in between, because once that's in our brain that this is what we want to do, your brain will figure out a way. You will figure out a way. And so I love that he said, hey, I want to do 9-figure deals. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I don't know how to meet the people to make that happen. I don't even know how to make a listing to make that happen. I don't have a listing for someone to buy of 9 figures, but he did it and he figured it out. And we can all sit here and say, hey, that's Ryan Serhant. So, that's him. That's not me. But he was somebody coming up as well, right? And he first said, I'm gonna advertise myself as $1 million seller when he didn't have $1 million homes. So he did that. So while we hear the 9-figure part now, he's been doing it all along, even when he didn't sell $1 million homes. So it's something for all of us to chew on, and I'll do that for myself, and I hope that you do it as well, is to just think bigger, okay? And so last truth here by Ryan Serhant that you need to hear before 2023, and let's go. All right.
You get more. Final truth that really has been in my brain a lot that I want to kind of leave you with is it's supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be hard. I feel like we flip the script on ourselves a lot. You lose a deal, you lose a buyer, you didn't hit your goals, or you got it done, but you're not as happy with the year as you want it to be, or you're crushing it, but you should have crushed it more. This business is hard.
Okay. I couldn't have said that any better. It's supposed to be hard. Becoming financially independent, financially free, having generational wealth, having the freedom for options to do as you please, when you please. That is not easy. It's supposed to be hard. And if it were easy, all of us would be doing it, right? No one would be caught in a rat race. No one would be doing a job they didn't enjoy. None of that would be even applicable if it was that easy. And the more I'm in this financial game, crypto game, self-mastery of financials and all other things, you realize that the harder it is, the more satisfying it is, and the more I want it. Because I know not everybody will achieve it. I know the majority will not achieve it. And so putting in that extra work, taking the losses and learning from them and all that kind of stuff, it's supposed to be hard. And I know that the 1 hurdle, 2 hurdles, 3 hurdles in, most people are going to drop off. And if I can push past through that, I'm going to hit my goals. And not only am I going to hit them, then I'm going to set even bigger ones and continue through there, and it'll just become a natural way of living. So while everyone kind of downplays money or setting monetary goals, I think it's just the process of getting to it that changes everything for you. So it's not necessarily the 100 million you want to make, but it's who you have to become to make that 100 million. And then that goes on, and then that just becomes a part of you. Like the very nature of you changes, right? And so then you just carry that forward to the next set of goals, and then the way you do anything then becomes the way you do everything. So the fact that it's supposed to be hard, we tend to forget that. We want everything easy. So do I, right? You want it easy. You want the 10x gain, the 100x gain to come like this. You want the project you're in to become super successful right out the gate. It's not the way it works, and nor should it, because this is what makes it more satisfying after you reach your goal, and then shows you that if I could have reached this, what else can I reach? And then the aim just continues to go higher. So it's supposed to be hard. I could not have framed those 5 truths any better than he did, especially the last one, that it's supposed to be hard. And the rest of us just have to continue to do those 5 truths. We need to hear them, and we need to act on them and continue forward. And we're going to make it to where we want to make it. So I'm gonna link a couple other videos in here that have to do with mindset, and definitely check them out, especially money mindset. I think that's very important for us to kind of know, and we'll see what takes us forward. So I'll look to see you guys in the next video.